debate. We'll get Trent Tucker up here to talk about that. He also has some other things going on in New York. Trent, it's Frank Isola, Stacey King. How are you today?
Good. How you guys doing this morning?
Good. And let's mention your charity event, and I'll ask you about that as well. It's on November 1st on a Saturday in New York City to kick off National Diabetes Month to benefit the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. You're having a charity bowling tournament. Where can people go for information on this? How can people get involved?
They can go online and find it. You can go online and find and look at the Trent Tucker Offer Kids Foundation, and you can find the event information right there.
Now, why are you involved with this foundation, Trent?
Well, when I was playing for the Knicks back in the late '80s, it was something that as a team that we adopted JDRF as a charity for the New York Knicks at the time. We would have a welcome home dinner. And I just always felt like that, this was a cause that I believe in. This is something that I wanted to get behind. So I kind of been involved with JDF for a very, very long time. And diabetes has also, hit my family as well. And I just thought that, if I was ever in a position, to provide some help and support, for a cause like this would be the right way to go.
And remember, folks, that's on November 1st. A couple of weeks, and it's going to be at Frames, which is located on 559th Avenue in New York City. Even though Trent played in Chicago, we all know that his first love is New York, right, Trent?
That's right.
Don't let him coax you into that, savvy vet. Come on, savvy vet.
I know. I just they will wake up my old teammate Stacey King, though.
Yeah, there you go, savvy. What's up, boy?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain. Moving and shaking.
Hey,
I get a chance to check you out, on the Bulls game, and you and Neil, you guys do a very, very good job there.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, Trent, we've been talking a lot about Minnesota, and obviously over the summer, it was a big story with Kevin Love, and then he eventually ends up getting traded to Cleveland. And now you're hearing all this stuff about Ricky Rubio. He wants a bigger deal than maybe 4 years, $48 million. How do you think this is going to end up with the Timberwolves? Do you think Ricky Rubio will end up resigning there? Do you think he might end up on the move and end up someplace else?
Well, based on the word from here, I think Phil Saunders and the staff are going to let him play it out, to see if he has improved as a basketball player enough, to be in a position to get a max deal. We all know that he understands the game from the point guard position, but there's some things they need to see in his development before they reward him with a max-type deal.
When you look at this team, and Kevin Love, they didn't ever reach the playoffs. They were close a few times, but didn't reach it. What is this team going to look like now with Kevin Love being in Cleveland, and now you bring in the young players like Andrew Wiggins and Zach Levine? What are they going to look? Are they going to be more up-tempo, or are they still going to be more of a slower team?
Well, they want to push the ball, and we all know that. If you can get some easy baskets in transition, it's going to help your overall offensive game, because now you don't have to come down every single time and face a set defense. But they're still going to rely on some guys who was here over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, guys like Nikola Pekovic. They're hoping that Rubio can, they can round out to become one of the better point guards in the Western Conference and in the NBA. They picked up some veterans. Thaddeus Young from Philadelphia, and also they picked up Mo Williams, so that should help in the locker room also. But I think he is going to rely on some of the guys who have been here before to see if they can gel with these young guys, to give them a chance to fight for that final spot in the Western Conference to make the playoffs.
We're talking with former NBA player Trent Tucker, played for the Knicks, played for the Bulls, won a championship there. Stacey King was one of his teammates, of course, and Trent obviously very tied to the Minnesota community. Trent, you have Kevin Love, and he put up big-time numbers in Minnesota, and he have a lot of accolades, made all-star teams, was on the Olympic team, has a gold medal, but never made the playoffs. Now, some of that has to fall on him, because you should be good enough to kind of, if he's getting the money that he's getting, you think that he could elevate his teammates and get to 41 wins and get into the playoffs. All right, that's over and done with. Now he's in Cleveland. How do you think he'll work with LeBron? Because there's going to be a lot of pressure on Kevin Love, just as well as there will be pressure on Kyrie Irving to now prove that they could win, especially when they have a guy like LeBron James as their teammate.
Well, the pressure will be different now, because everyone is expected not only to win during the regular season, but make a deep playoff run and maybe play for a championship. So the pressure now to make those outside shots become even more critical. But for a guy like Kevin Love, he's going to a perfect spot. You know, he's a stretch four, as they call him today. He's a guy who can pick and pop, and he can knock down a 3-point shot. So he's gonna space out the defense and give guys like Kyrie Irving and LeBron James some more room to operate in a one-on-one type situation. So he's going to a situation that is perfect for the game that he plays.
Well, you know, we were talking about Isaiah Thomas, and we know how bitter those rivalries were between us and the Pistons. You see talking about Scottie Pippen not being, you know, a top 50. He should be excluded from that top 50 list. He's made comments about Michael Jordan, you know, LeBron James being a better athlete than Michael Jordan. Where do you think those comments are coming from? Is it sour grapes, or do you think that's a fair assessment?
Well, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, you have to really sit down and ask a guy who's making those comments. But, you know, based on, you know, on the guy or those two guys that I've played against and with, you know, Scottie Pippen to me, you know, for sure is one of the all-time great players in this league. When you talk about being in the top 50, I think he should be there. When you talk about Michael Jordan, you know, to me, you know, there's no one to compare to Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan is the gold standard of the NBA, and what he was able to do, you know, with his career during that stretch, winning 6 NBA championships. I'm just imagining if he decided to stay around a little bit longer, if the Bulls would have kept that team together after 1998, there's no telling how many more championships Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls could have won.
And Trent, let's face it, Scottie Pippen is an unbelievable player, and Isaiah Thomas, he loves to poke people, and he's clearly doing that right here with Scottie, because the greatness of Scottie Pippen, first of all, he was riding shotgun with Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan needed him to win those championships. But what about the year that Michael decided to try to play baseball? The year that Scottie Pippen had with the Chicago Bulls when they won all those games. They gave the Knicks a run for their money. A lot of people think there was a controversial call in that series, and the Bulls easily could have won. To me, Scottie Pippen really proved his worth that year, the first year without Michael Jordan.
Well, yeah, that was 1994, and I felt at that time, I know Akeem Olajuwon, you know, was the MVP of the league, you know, but to me, I thought Scottie Pippen was the best player in basketball based on the things you just stated. You know, they took the Knicks to a tough seventh game situation that year. Many people could say there was a controversial call, but when you're talking about a guy that brought it every single day, a guy that really elevated his game to a whole new level, you know, Scottie Pippen to me is one of the top all-time 50 great players.
You look at the Bulls team now, and with Derrick Rose being healthy and the acquisition of Pau Gasol, you know, what do you look at this team? What do you think their chances are of possibly, you know, meeting Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals and going beyond?
Well, you know, they have the pedigree to do it, especially from the defensive end. They have guys who are very mentally tough. They understand what playoff basketball is all about. You know, but for the key for the Bulls to make us a serious run and be a serious contender to get out of the Eastern Conference and maybe play for a championship will be the help of Derrick Rose. And if he can stay healthy, he's a guy that brings it all together. And then by having him on the floor at the end of games, they can go to someone who can either make a shot for himself or find his teammate for an easier shot as well.
How much money could Trent Tucker make in today's NBA where three-point shooting is always at a premium? You must kick yourself sometimes that you weren't 22 years old right now as opposed to, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s, right?
Well, if I was playing today, I could make Stacey King type money, you know?
Oh, no. Hey, Trent, I'm just a man sitting next to the man. Frank's the one making all the money.
But it's true though, right, Trent? With the way the NBA game has changed, I mean, the 3-point shot it's a much bigger weapon today than it was when you played.
Yeah, when I first came in, you know, back in 1982, if a guy, you know, took 1 or 2 3-point shots a night, you know, that was a ton. You know, when Rick Pitino took over for Hubie Brown, and the first thing he told me, he said, I want you to get up, you know, 5, 6, 7 3-point shots a night. I looked at him like he was speaking Chinese or something because I had never heard that before. You know, but the game has evolved. It's a much more wide open game. The 3-point shot has become a big part of everyone's offense. And sure, if I was playing today, it would be a tailor-made fit for the way I play basketball.
Trent, you see that, you know, Phil Jackson's in New York, and he's got all his guys there that he trusts, you know, JC, Jim Clemens, and a lot of those guys off that Lakers staff. How long do you think it's going to take for him to turn the Knicks around? And just knowing what you know about the triangle offense, tell the listeners how difficult the triangle offense is, and then once you learn it, how great it is.
But it's a patience offense. It's a skill offense, but also you have to understand, that you have to, you can't rush yourself. If one side doesn't work, the ball has to reverse on the other side, but the players have to understand they need to get to their spots and show patience. I was watching the Knicks play the other night, and you could just tell, they were overthinking, and they wanted to react, and they were overthinking too much, and sometimes that can lead to early turnovers when you're trying to figure out what this offense is all about. I believe, once these guys get this down, it's a fun offense to play in, and I really believe that this offense is going to benefit someone like Carmelo Anthony because it's going to put him in a position where the shot clock is running down, where he can play off of 1 or 2 bounces. The ball is going to find him in a position where he can help his team coming down the stretch.
You ever see Phil Jackson coaching again, or you think he's done?
I don't know if he will ever get back on the sideline, but I have to believe that throughout this season, he's going to have Derek Fisher's ear, and he's going to be coaching from up above. I had a great time, playing for a guy like Phil Jackson. You learn so much about the game, how to come together as a unit, and all the guys I played with. It was fun playing with him as well.
All right, folks, Trent Tucker, he's hosting a celebrity bowling tournament. It's Saturday, November 1st, 2014 at Frames, located at 550 9th Avenue in New York City. It's to kick off National Diabetes Month, benefiting the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. The red carpet and VI meet and greet, that begins at 1 o'clock, and then the tournament begins at 2:15. He's got John Starks will be there, Anthony Mason. If John Starks cheats like he does in golf, be very careful about his score, Trent, in the bowling alley. But it's a great event. Just give out the website one more time so the listeners and the fans can get involved.
People can go to my website, which is allforkidsfoundation.org, and also they can go to the JDRF foundation website as well, to find out more information. But also, I'm looking, if you guys are in New York City, I hope that you guys stop out as well.
Hey, Trent, we really appreciate it. I'll try to make it because I will be around. And thanks for coming on. We appreciate it, and good luck with the event on November 1st, okay?
Okay. All right,
I'll see you in Minnesota, boy.
All right, big. All right, King. See you later, man.
All right, babe.
All right, that, of course, Trent Tucker, former Knick, former Chicago Bull, and really involved in a terrific cause. Once again, this will be on Saturday, November 1st at Frames, which is in New York City, 550 9th Avenue in Manhattan. It is for kicks off National Diabetes Month. It benefits the Juvenile Diabetes Research